graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
I should have worn a condom. Got so many kids that I lost count. I should have worn a condom. Gonorrhea, crabs, and got syphilis too. I should have worn a condom. And if you wanna bang, I'ma give them to you. Cause I don't have no condom.
We are the kings of misery.
You're listening to Two Strangers, One Podcast. Please visit twostrangersonePodcast.net.
Subscribe to us on iTunes or on the Stitcher app for Android devices. And now, here's Chris Colon and Paul Versrillo.
Well, hello and welcome to Two Strangers, One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Paul.
And I wonder, is it considered contempt of court if you call the judge a cunt outside of court?
Oh, God. What the fuck happened now?
It's just more of the same fucking bullshit. I mean, and you could easily go back to follow old episodes of the podcast and I swear to God, you would think this is a repeat, and it's not. Basically, I went to court on Wednesday. Now, mind you, we were supposed to go to court last month, and of course, somebody's lawyer couldn't make it, so we got pushed back. Now, mind you, I didn't even know about it. Luckily, I made a phone call the morning I was supposed to go to court. I just had a fucking feeling something bad was going to happen. So I got pushed back to this month, and it's the same fucking bullshit. You go to court, and, you're all sitting there, and nothing happens. Because my daughter's, once for the new listeners or whatever, my daughter lives with her grandfather. Her mom lives with the next guy. She's pregnant with the next kid. She's pregnant. She's ready to pop any second now. So my daughter lives with the grandfather, and the whole reason we went to court is because, he was violating the rules that were set up on the last court case, which has yet to fucking, and mind you, this was like 5 months ago, and they've yet to fucking produce the papers that I need to enforce the rules that were in place. I mean, luckily, like, the funny thing is, once I go to court, he actually started like following the rules because once he realized, oh shit, he's going to take me to court. But so since I actually filed the papers or whatever, I mean, he's been playing by the fucking rules. But so last time, and I didn't even, now mind you, they go, oh, we sent you a letter. When I called the court, something told me to call, and they go, oh, we sent you a letter. I got the letter like fucking 3 days later after the fucking court date. Like, I don't know when the fuck they sent the letter, but I mean, I guess technically I did get it. But like I said, it was luckily it saved me a trip from driving all the way to the courthouse for no fucking reason. So I go and you go and the grandfather's giving me all this bullshit that, he feels that he's all stressed out, that he's, he doesn't want to live in Rochester anymore. Now, mind you, he's not even paying his full rent. And, the landlord is taking him to court. So he's, but then I bring that up in court, and his lawyer's like, oh no, he's going to stay and nothing's going to happen. I was like, he hasn't been paying he hasn't been paying half the rent for like months now, because he feels that back when we had the last court case, the judge had ordered for him to get money from the city. This is where your tax dollars are going, people, to pay for half the rent, when he asked me to leave. So ever since the court case was settled a couple months ago, he hasn't been paying half of the rent because he's expecting fucking welfare to kick in or whatever and pay the half of the rent. So, and he even showed me the eviction note. He showed me not the eviction notice. He showed me the letter about the landlord taking him to court, and now, I bring it up. Oh no, he's not going to go to court. And, he's like, oh, I feel that I'm stuck here in Rochester. I was like, welcome to the fucking way I've been feeling for the past 4 years. I mean,
exactly.
This case or all the events, this is some shit that happened 2 years ago.
So wait. So the grandfather is being evicted?
Well, the landlord is taking him to court, because he's only paying half the rent because he's waiting for this fucking magical money that's supposed to come to kick in.
So why is your daughter still with him?
Exactly.
I don't understand. Like, I would be, the minute that I see an eviction notice, I would be like on the phone with CPS being like, you see this eviction notice, right? Why is my son not with me right now? Or well, in my case, my son, but in your case, your daughter.
Yeah, technically, I haven't seen the eviction. I haven't seen the eviction notice, but I did see
Right.
that my lawyer's taking him to court. But I mean, you take someone to court, with the intention of, I guess and I don't know, maybe he's gotten the magic money. I don't know, but it's
See, here's the thing: is that he's part of this CPS case, so they should be monitoring him as well. So if he really does have an eviction notice, I don't know about you, dude, but I'd be on the phone with CPS tomorrow and being like, look, I don't know what's going on, nor do I really care, but the grandfather who has the custodial rights for your daughter right now, he's getting evicted, so why is my daughter not with me right now? Why do I not have temporary custody? Because, see, here's the thing, where's her mother right now?
Her mother's living with, her next guy.
Does she even see your daughter?
She sees the daughter. She sees the daughter. Like, I see my daughter like I see my daughter Sunday through Wednesday.
Okay.
And then she sees the daughter like Friday through Sunday. Like most of the time, I pick up my daughter from her mother's house.
Oh, okay.
Which really, when you think about it, I drop her off at school Wednesday morning, and my daughter's she's with her grandfather fucking Wednesday and Thursday into Friday morning.
So
she's spending most of the time with her parents anyway. I mean, but my thing is that I'm pissed off because it's visitation. It shouldn't be visitation. It should be custody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my daughter pretty much is staying with me half the week, but I want custody. Right now I have no say in anything. And it's like, and that's the thing that's frustrating the shit out of me, is that, like, I'm doing everything I need to do, yet, I can't make any decisions in my daughter's life. I can't,
Right.
If I wanted to get the fuck out of this godforsaken city, I could leave, but I can't, because I am not legally,
Dude.
I could leave the city all I want. I can't bring my daughter with me.
Dude, from what I hear as much bitching as you do about New York City, I sit there and I go, I don't know if it's any better to go back to than Rochester at the moment.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, now, New York City is and I'll get into that in a minute. There's a huge fire in my old neighborhood, with fucking buildings collapsing.
Well, getting back to what you were saying though, like, that's kind of hard. That's kind of why, like, I don't want to be, and thankfully my situation cleared up. But, it's kind of why I'm glad that, I don't necessarily have to take things to court at the moment, just because it's a long fucking process. And, the first time you go, you set up times and dates, and, the judge asks you, oh, do you guys agree, blah, blah, blah. Of course you don't agree, because you're at court because you don't agree. Then they do it again. Then the third and fourth time, they try to get you to do it, and then you go to trial. And then if you go to trial, it's going to take longer than that. And it's just like, it almost takes a year for you to get your fucking kid, when, in the long run, you just agree and get it taken care of,
And that's what I'm saying. And for me, it's been 2. I mean, it's literally been over 2 years. And mind you, the whole point, this whole new case started because I fought a guy that the mom brought to the guy's house. She's not even with him anymore. She's pregnant with the next, knucklehead's kid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So
you know what I'm saying? Like, the guy that was fucking part of this whole fucking situation isn't even in the situation anymore.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? And it just shows how fucking, like, just how blind the fucking.
Well, I understand, dude, but you got to understand too, and you probably know this already. You put yourself in that situation, and
but I did everything I needed to fucking do. I took the anger management. I took
did.
the therapy. I took the fucking
and don't get me
spousal
wrong.
abuse classes and all the.
and don't get me wrong, dude. Like, I commend you for doing all that, but you did put yourself in the situation where you're at right now, and because of that, maybe karma is being a bitch right now. But I do think that you will get your kid. You just, as much as, if I were in your situation too, I'd probably be pissed, and I would be like, look, we need to figure this out and get this taken care of. And you know what? You may even want to talk to the mom and be like, look, let's just do joint custody straight down the middle, because that's basically what it is. Half the week I get her, the other half of the week you get her. That way we both have custodial rights, we both get to say what's needed to be said, and that's it. Because, dude, you're not going back to New York City. Like, you're not going back to New York City, so what does it matter?
Yeah. Well, and mind you, she didn't even go to court.
She didn't even go.
She didn't even go to court.
Really?
Because once again, like I said, she's pregnant with the next guy's kid, and like, I'm kind of, and this is gonna sound horrible, but follow my logic. I'm kind of glad that she's pregnant with the next kid because the same way, because she has a son that's 10 years old.
Right.
She has like written him off. She has no fucking interaction with him whatsoever. He stays with the grandfather, and she interacts with him just like super duper bare minimum. I mean, the grandfather has raised that kid, and to add insult to injury, like here she is fighting for her daughter, my kid, and has never even entertained the idea of taking her father to court for her son. So I'm kind of hoping that now that she has this next kid, that like then she'll like forget my daughter, and it sounds horrible, whatever. But I mean, if history fucking repeats itself, the fact that she's totally like ignored her first kid, maybe when she has this next one, like maybe she won't fight me as much. I mean, it's still gonna be between me and the grandfather. But he's an old guy with a fucking bad back. I mean, it's only a fucking matter of time before he fucking collapses
Well, he sounds like
under his own weight.
he sounds like he's frustrated and he wants out too. So I mean, dude, I would just, as much as I hate to say this, I would just let it go. But there again, that looks bad on her that she didn't even show up.
Yeah, it's like I don't understand how you could just not show up.
So that's why they moved the court date, or
they moved the court date last month because one of the lawyers couldn't make it.
okay. So what happened during this court case?
Nothing. That's
Nothing. So nothing. So nothing
Nothing's
because
happened.
she wasn't there.
Just nothing because like okay, we're here. And I said, I'm like the grandfather's going to court. The grandfather's landlord's taking him to court. He's saying he told me that he wants to leave Rochester. He told me, he's Native American. He wants to go to the reservation. He told me all this, and I'm bringing it up in court, and my lawyer brings it up, and then his lawyer goes, "Oh no, he doesn't feel that way." It's like, which I like because now he says he doesn't feel that way. So if he does get evicted and he does move, then that just means that he fucking lied in court.
He can't move with your daughter though. That's the thing.
Well, well, then that means he's gonna fucking have to pull 6
He's gonna
months
be-
back
no.
rent out of his ass.
See, that's the thing is he's gonna be violent. There, I'm pretty sure there's a thing in place that says that he can't move within a certain distance of you guys.
And we'll see. And even if he does move, he has to notify us.
Right.
So I'm waiting. And if he moves without notifying me, then now he's violating the court order. Now he's the bad guy, and I don't have
You can send the police after him. Yeah. You should send the police after him because honestly, like,
But if I don't know where he's going, that's
dude, they'll find him. Don't worry. Trust me. The minute that your kid, it's a kidnapping case in that case, and they will be all over his ass. They will find him. Don't worry.
And the other kid has to go to school. I mean, her brother has to.
Right.
Has to,
Oh, okay, so you're going up. So basically, you're going up against the grandfather. You're not going up against her.
Yeah, I'm not going up against the mother, and that's the whole thing is that like, and trust me, I mean, her and I are not like fucking buddies or anything like that. But I've kind of like even in the paperwork, they were like, I just said, look, I just want the parents to have custody.
So she doesn't even she's not even involved in this case. Like,
well, she's only involved because she was involved in the original case. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not
weird. That's just weird. Like, I don't understand. Like, she should, like, I don't know. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you should I don't see what the problem is here. You should have your son. You should have your daughter. I keep saying son because I have a son. You should have your daughter, and there should be no discussion about this. Like,
exactly. That's why I'm so frustrated. I mean,
then it should
common
be
sense would say,
right.
What's the common sense would say what's the problem?
And then here's the thing: like, she should be, if she wants her daughter back, then she should be fighting you again for rights.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it should be right now.
But she never fought her father for her son. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know. I think this is just. I think eventually you'll get her, but it's just going to be frustrating for now, dude.
Yeah.
So
it's
just
like, I've totally missed out like on so much of her, childhood already.
Right.
I mean, she has her whole life ahead of her, but still, it's like,
dude, you know what? The most important thing is that you have a relationship with her. She knows you're your dad. She knows you're not terrible, and that you actually are doing things for your daughter. Okay, so. And
I know there's people who say like, "Oh, Chris, you shouldn't talk about your personal business," but like, I want this on record. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is undeniable. Like, if I got hit by a fucking bus tomorrow, like, someone can play these episodes for my daughter and say, "Look, your father fought for you and continued to fight for you, and it was a fucking uphill battle, and between your hard-headed fucking grandfather and your fucking non-involved mother, that's you know, like I said, because I know there's people like, oh, you shouldn't talk your business on the podcast like that. And I was like, but you know, I want this shit on record. You know, saying I don't want this to just, you know, end up going with me. Like I said, I get hit by a bus tomorrow and nobody knows my struggle. But at least if I do something like this on the fucking podcast, people know what the fuck I'm going through.
Right.
And it's frustrating as fuck. It really is.
So New York City?
Nah, well, no.
You want to
Yes.
burn down New York City?
No, of course, no. I want to do the opposite. Well, let me tell you. Okay, so there was a huge fire that led to fucking like 2 buildings collapsing down on 7th Avenue. I mean, excuse me, 2nd Avenue and 7th Street, which is, you know, the East Village. I'm trying my best to figure out where exactly they were talking about, because there was a couple places like literally like my old stomping grounds, like I don't know how far it was from a place. There was a place called San Loco, which was a burrito place. You know, some of the best fucking burritos I've ever eaten in my life. I mean, of course, I'm a New York City boy. I mean, there are Mexican restaurants in New York City, but like, I mean, it's the best burrito I've ever eaten. But then again, you know, like East Village is not exactly a Mexican area. You know, those people that's called stomp, that they call them, they you know, that they like. They hit like garbage cans and they dance, and you know, their theater is. I mean, if it didn't affect them, I mean, they were literally like across the street from where this happened, or on the same block.
Did they actually say what happened? Because like I was kind of confused by that.
Well, right now everyone's saying that it was a gas leak under the building that you know, and like it was. Actually, the firefighters were responding originally to the gas leak, and then the gas leak turned into a fucking fire. And they said the first floor of the building was a part of the first floor of the building was a restaurant. So that's what makes me more wonder if it was that. I wonder if that place San Loco, which was, like I said, one of the most favoriteest places I've ever been to. I used to love going and eating there. I wonder if that was the one that was involved, you know. And like I said,
I was gonna say, did anybody die? Because I don't. They kind of reported that there was an explosion, and then all of a sudden they stopped reporting after. Well, now I think it was just gas line.
I want to say that I think only one person died, which is phenomenal when you think about, you know, fucking 2 buildings and fucking, you know, downtown Manhattan, you know, the crowded.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, and 2nd Avenue, I mean, for people who know New York City, I mean, 2nd Avenue is a pretty main street when it comes to people driving downtown. If you're headed south, 2nd Avenue is pointed south. You know, it's about 6 lanes across. I mean, it's a very, very main thoroughfare, like for people on the east side to go downtown, to go further south. And so I could only imagine like the traffic. I mean, of course, you know, I feel for the people who lost their homes and stuff like that. But, you know, I mean, just for the city operating in general, you know, you shut down 2nd Avenue. Goddamn, you know, like that's like
right.
That's a main street. So, you know, my thoughts and prayers, I mean, whatever you want to say, go out to the people, you know, in downtown Manhattan. But it just, and this partly bothers me because that is such a in-demand area right now that, you know I could fucking see it. I feel it in my bones that, you know, they're going to rebuild in that area, you know, and in an area like 2nd Avenue and 7th Street, those buildings are maybe 6 stories high, maybe 8 stories high, like nothing in that area. You know, that whole area, you know, it's funny, New York City is known for its skyscrapers and everything like that, but that is a pretty, it's kind of, it's right where like residential kind of ends and commercial begins, I guess would be the best way to put it. You know, I mean, this is, you know, you're talking about blocks away from where like NYU students live. You know, I mean, it's the East Village. I mean, just tons of musicians and artists live in that area. And I know I could fucking, you know, you hear it, you heard it here now. You know, they're going to use that area that, you know, that basically, you know, they're going to thank the gas and fires for fucking saving them money and demolishing the place. And they're going to rebuild it, and they're going to put some fucking monstrosity of a building. And it's so, you know, like when you drive down through downtown Manhattan, you see like, you know, you'll see, you know, older building, fucking, you know, and when I say older buildings, I mean nothing taller than like 8 stories, and then all of a sudden a 20-story fucking monstrosity. You know, older building, motel, you know, older building, you know, another fucking co-op or whatever, and it's, you know, it's really fucking, it's really frustrating, and even like 2-3 weeks ago, I posted a thing on Facebook where, Second Avenue, I call Second Avenue my old neighborhood. I mean, it's a bit of a, from where I was raised, it's about 2 miles, 3 miles away. Literally 3 blocks away from where I grew up. They're putting up this fucking 80-story monstrosity in downtown Manhattan. And once again, Manhattan, yes, Manhattan is known for skyscrapers, but this is not a skyscraper area. This is a residential area where people live. I mean, it is literally across the street from the projects. Part of the construction for them to build this fucking giant monstrosity, which is backed by Donald Trump, which I'm not the biggest fan of Donald Trump. They had to tear down a supermarket, the Pathmark, Pathmark, that Pathmark's been there for, I remember, I'm old enough to remember before the Pathmark was there, but, it's been there pretty much a majority of my life, and was like, the place my parents used to go shop and growing up, and, and it was close enough. 3 blocks away. My mom can go get her groceries, take the little shopping cart, the little push cart, that people, my mom could go 3-4 blocks with her groceries and live relatively, well, and now, they close down the supermarket, forcing people to to go further, north. And, and once again, with someone like my mother was used to walking, now she has to walk further, but, now you can't carry, I'm saying, if you're pushing, weeks worth of groceries, yes, she doesn't live by herself. My uncle lives across the street, and he's pretty active in her life, but, she's an old lady, what I'm saying? And in that area is known for having an older population. So, you're forcing these people to go further away to build this gigantic monstrosity. Where the fuck are the people going to park? Parking is already a fucking abomination downtown Manhattan. Where are you going to park? What about, it's just, the litter and people throwing out their garbage, and where's that going to go? And it's really, really fucking annoying. And it's funny because in that particular area where they're building it is going now, mind you, there are 20-story buildings in that area. Don't get me wrong. It's literally on the same block as 20-story buildings, but they're talking about 80-story buildings. So when before you had 8-story buildings and they're building 20-story monstrosities, now you have 20-story buildings. Now they're building 80-story monstrosities. It's like everything is bigger. But there's no fucking accountability of where these people are going to park, where these people are going to live, where these people are going to shop for food. A friend of mine told me that part of the contract was that they are going to rebuild the supermarket as part of the new structure. So like, it's going to be like an apartment building on top of a supermarket or but now, it's probably going to cater to a more, higher class clientele. It's probably going to be more expensive, and it's probably, it's a slow way of pushing the people out of the fucking neighborhood, and it's fucking disgusting. And I can only imagine this is what they're going to do where the ashes are on 2nd Avenue and 7th Street, when they build whatever the fuck. I guarantee you there's people right now fucking, making deals and calling people and doing whatever they got to do to say, hey, let me buy this pile of ashes from you so I can build a fucking 80-story fucking condo monstrosity fucking thing, Whole Foods. Disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. Let me see what else. And speaking of, I don't know, I was on the other day, I was driving to work, and I was still trying to figure out the story. By us, one of the streets is called Upper Falls, and it's literally like, cause there are waterfalls in Rochester. Like, they're not pretty. The water is fucking brown. But there are waterfalls in Rochester. And when I was driving to work the other day, I drive by Upper Falls, and there were a whole bunch of cops and firefighters blocking off. It's not a bridge. Bridge is not the right word, but it's basically a road that goes over the water. But I wouldn't call it a bridge because it's not built like a bridge. It's built like just a street that happens to, like, if you go, there's only a little like 4-foot high barrier, but if you really wanted to, you jump over that barrier and jump into the waterfall. Of course, you probably die, but I don't say it's a bridge because it doesn't look like a bridge. It just looks like a street that opens up into a waterfall, the side of the street. But I guess apparently some guy. Now, mind you, here's this beauty of nature, and it's literally like diagonal from like the welfare office. So like where Upper Falls meets like You know, and
Oh,
well,
yeah,
I'm sorry, they said it was
Falls,
Hudson. They said it was Hudson Street. I mean, excuse me, so Hudson, and of course, you know, this is probably boring as fuck for people who don't live in Rochester, but you know, it is funny that like,
No,
you know,
it's not boring. It's not.
not boring, but it's you know, it's just weird when you tell people like, yeah, there are waterfalls in Rochester, but it's in the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? You go, you know, 3 blocks in any direction, and like I said, it's literally across the street from the welfare office, which is across the street from a fucking like abandoned warehouse, you know, and then you got, you know, then you're in the ghetto. So it's so funny that you would think that the waterfalls would be like the nice part of Rochester, but it's not. And then it was funny because, you know, I got my little apartment. I'm in the ghetto. Yeah. You know, I've said that a million times.
No, you're not in the ghetto. No. That's not. Dude, there's worse places than where you live, and trust me, where you live is actually. I actually was kind of surprised because I was like, you sit there all the time. You're like, oh, I live in the ghetto, and me and Kelsey are looking at each other like, this isn't really that bad. Like we're just sitting there going, no. See where the ghetto is over there. Let's see, what's Joseph Avenue? When you come out of the city, there's this like apartment complex over there. I can't think of what the name of it is, but over there is where there's a lot. Over in that part, there's a lot of killings, a lot of violence down in there.
I'm a 2-minute drive from the ghetto.
Okay, fine. Well, granted, okay. Yes, we'll say 5-minute drive from the ghetto. Let's say that.
But I mean, it was funny because I don't know what's going on in my apartment complex, but part of like it was a landlord and some sort of city inspector, all they were checking out like making sure our smoke detectors are working, our carbon monoxide detectors are working. But like my landlord comes into my apartment and I have a laundry line in my apartment. You know what I'm saying? Like when I do laundry, I'm not going to pay to fucking have it dry. I'll put it on a fucking laundry line. And so like my landlord was like giving me a dirty look. And now mind you, in my apartment complex, there is supposed to be a laundry room. And I've lived here well over a year, more like a year and a half. And the laundry room has never worked. You know, when I first moved in, I was promised, it's going to work. They've never. So I was waiting for my landlord to say something because he kind of like, I could tell he kind of like gave me like a dirty look, and I was just like, yeah, if you got the fucking laundry room working, maybe I wouldn't have to fucking hang up clothes in my apartment like a fucking, it's too cold, and I don't, my apartment is a small apartment, and I really don't have. I don't have any kind of like outside access, so yeah, I'm gonna hang up clothes in my fucking apartment because fucking I'm not gonna pay to dry that shit. That's money.
Oh, did you say that to him?
No, I was waiting for him to say something, but like he kind of like he gave me like this dirty look when the inspector came because it was like my landlord and some lady from the city or whatever, and like she went and she just kind of just like checked the smoke detector, checked the carbon monoxide detector. And it's funny, like my house is so small that all they need is just one. You know what I'm saying? All I need is one smoke detector. All I need is one carbon monoxide detector, which is like already in the kitchen as it is. So, but I thought that was kind of funny. Like I was waiting for him to say something.
You should have said something anyways. Hey, by the way, when are you gonna fix the dryer downstairs? Because it's kind of a violation to have me hang my clothes in here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's what had happened was, I guess, and it was not when I moved in. It was someone installed a hook in my kitchen, and I guess directly across from like the hook. I mean, like long enough to put a sufficient amount of cord. There's like a pipe, I guess would be the best way to put it. I mean, it's this fucking big ass, thick, sturdy pipe. So between the hook and the pipe, I fucking strung out a rope, and hung it up, and I hang and I do my laundry. And of course, I'm pretty sure it's dry within a day or two. My lazy ass is, this is a bachelor pad, I don't even bother putting my clothes in my underwear in the drawer. I just take it right off the laundry line. Who the fuck do I got to impress? Nobody's coming to my house.
Right.
The laundry, and it's way too, like my daughter can't mess with it. It's too high up in the air and stuff like that. So, that's pretty funny. So I think we're gonna take a break, and we'll be back with more dick and fart jokes.
Yay!
This episode of Two Strangers, One Podcast is brought to you by Comics Etc. 1115 East Main and North Goodman at the Hungerford Building, door number 8. Find out more information at comicsetc.biz or like them on Facebook at facebook.com/comicsetc1.
Click and Hit, enhancing the experience for all recreational smokers. Click and Hit is a one-handed portable vaporizer. This smoking pipe has a compact 4-stage design, complete with a built-in, windproof, butane refillable torch lighter. The large burn chamber holds your stash of legal herb or pipe tobacco. Click the button to ignite and inhale as usual. When you are done, put it back in your pocket for later. Smoke anytime with the touch of a button. No more carrying around grinders and tins. You can leave the pipe, rolling papers, and even your lighter at home. The Click and Hit cordless vaporizer is no bigger than a normal cigar, making it the world's smallest and most discreet vaporizer. It's perfect for use in small places or shared rooms. It's efficient, getting 5 to 8 draws from your packed chamber. It's affordable at just $19.95 each. Buy 3 and the shipping is free. Buy 4 and you get the 5th one free. Visit www.click-hit.com. That's clickandhit.com. And now, for listeners of Two Strangers One Podcast, you can use promo code STRANGERS and receive 10% off your purchase at clickandhit.com. That's promo code STRANGERS for 10% off your purchase.
Oh my God, Paul! There's so much nerdy news. As of tonight alone, we finally got a chance to see the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool costume. I mean, we got a chance to see it in the that teaser video. I don't know. I guess it was sort of like it was the guys. They were kind of like they made a video to make it look like, okay, this is what it's going to look like. I guess they call it a proof of concept video. Remember that one that was released? It was leaked online. That kind of got this to work. That got this whole thing. That got the whole thing rolling.
Yeah.
So it was sort of a proof of concept video. But I mean, now it's like, I mean, and of course, you know, that shit was fucking leaked on purpose. I mean, you know, we discussed that a long time ago. Like that was definitely. Someone released that shit on purpose, which is smart because you know it's like, you know, you're releasing like a you know, you're forcing them to give you a job. Now we were talking about this before the episode. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks fantastic, it really does, but it looks like it's so good that it looks fake, or not. I get not fake like someone made it up. I mean, it looks like Ryan Reynolds had to lose weight or something. Probably, you know, because you know, I mean, but he's always been Ryan Reynolds, especially recently. I mean, especially with like doing like, you know, Green Lantern and when he played, you know, the Wade Wilson in the, you know, X-Men Origins Wolverine. I mean, he was bulky, you know what I'm saying? And this, I mean, like I said, it looks fucking fantastic, but he looks like I'm bringing up the picture right now, and it's a teaser picture, and he's laying in front of a fire on a bearskin rug. You know, obviously they got the eyes. I don't know how to do the eyes because I mean the eyes definitely show expression, but it's like
it's probably along the lines of how they did the Spider-Man costume, where you can actually see out of those, and it's kind of like it's not like it's, how do I put this? It's like really really small like holes. So
yeah,
while it looks like you can't see out of it, really you can.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, like I said, it looks fantastic, but you know, and like I said, right? But I was so used to seeing Ryan Reynolds all jacked up like a fucking monster, you know, like really big. You know, when he played with Hannibal King and fucking Blade Trinity, you know, Blade Trinity? You know, he was a big fucking dude. I mean, he looked like he lost weight or he lost muscle to be this character. Which I mean, like I said, I'm not complaining. It's just you know, it looks good. It looks good.
No, it looks like a piece of shit is what he's saying, folks. Anyways,
but now if he so if this is the same Deadpool that's, you know, Wade Wilson from the X-Men Origin movies, so this is like, it's sort of a spin-off of a spin-off. Like, you know, like you know, it's from the X-Men Origins. I don't know, like what is that, because remember, like after Days of Future Past, they kind of had that thing where it kind of reset the whole continuity, just to kind of like like say like,
wait,
okay,
you're talking about X-Men Future,
Days of Future Past,
right?
They kind of like, the way they ended it was sort of in a way of saying like, oh no, the timeline has been reset. So like for people who didn't like X-Men 3 or X-Men Wolverine Origins, they were like, okay, you could kind of write those movies off because we altered the timeline. Those things never really happened. But then again, this is kind of proof that it did happen because it is.
No, like, okay, so let's.
I mean, I'm looking.
Let me.
I'm looking much further into it than it needs to be looked into. But I'm
Well,
just saying.
well, well. Okay, let me correct you on this because basically, if you remember, Wolverine came out of Days of, or not Days of Future Past. He came. It was X-Men Origins Wolverine, I believe was the name of it. And basically, Wolverine. It was the story of how Wolverine got adamantium and everything like that, and that's where we got to see Deathpool. Well, I don't think, and it really depends on if they do decide to change the storyline at all, which I don't think they will. But he obviously the story is still the same. Now, what they've said is that this one may ignore the Deathpool that you saw in X-Men Origins.
X-Men Origins.
X-Men Origins Wolverine. And if they do, they do. They don't, they don't. So.
Well, I mean, okay, I guess it's sort of like let's all try to forget about X-Men Origins Wolverine, but let's keep the cool parts like Deadpool.
Well, and then you got to remember too, like Gambit's going to be. I mean, they're definitely ignoring Gambit from that because, well, Gambit's going to be Channing Tatum, right?
Channing Tatum, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm hoping that turns out to be good. And I kind of look at Gambit's picture and I look at him, and if they put him in the right physique, I could see that actually. Now that I look at him, and I'm like, okay, this could work. But if he's like jacked, it probably won't work. No offense to Channing Tatum, but he can't be jacked for this one. He's got to be.
I think they're gonna kind of just let him get more toned than jacked, which is like kind of the same deal like for Ryan Reynolds. I mean, Ryan Reynolds doesn't look as jacked as he used to. He looks, I mean, if that's him under that, if that's really him under that outfit, I mean, he looks more toned than fucking monster jacked.
Which, by the way, I hope that I think, and I haven't really said this because, we've kind of talked about other things on other podcasts, but I'm kind of hoping that the reason Hugh Jackman wants to stick around and do Wolverine is because he's hearing word that 20th Century Fox will allow Marvel to play with Wolverine, I hope. Because, dude, don't tell me you wouldn't want to see the Avengers with Wolverine in it.
Oh, yeah, that would be fucking fantastic.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. Oh, I have a nerdgasm as we speak right now. Which, by the way, Marvel. I don't know where these fucking nerds are coming from. And I get it. I understand. I get it. You guys want to try to do something different with Spider-Man. I get it. And I'm sorry I'm going off on a rage because I'm sure you had like 20 different nerdy topics in front of you, but I'm just going to go off on a tangent. Fuck you. Okay. I think we've talked about this before, but I'm getting sick and tired of hearing, well, we need to have the Black Spider-Man. Guys, in order for us to get to the Black Spider-Man, we have to set up the Black Spider-Man. We can't just be like, oh, here he is. Dude, okay, fine. If you eventually want to get to that point, we can get to that point. But if I remember correctly, Peter Parker was still part of that universe with
Miles Morales. Yeah.
Miles Morales. And we need to explain how Miles Morales got the powers. We can't just assume it. Okay? And I'm kind of glad because I'm sure this might be part of your news if it's not, but I'm kind of leading into this that, they've kind of pretty much confirmed. It's pretty much 99.9% confirmed that it's going to be Peter Parker again, which thank God it is.
Well, no, I mean, what a lot of people were saying, and allow me to play devil's advocate here. A lot of people were saying, okay, look, we had Spider-Man. Like, Tobey Maguire was Spider-Man, as in the traditional Spider-Man that we all know and we all love. Then when they rebooted the franchise, they added the Amazing, and now it's the Amazing Spider-Man. And like in the comics, there's Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man. There's all these different fucking Spider-Mans, as in So this is sort of like saying like, okay, we had Spider-Man, we have Amazing Spider-Man. Let's go with the Miles Morales Superman. Which now, mind you, don't get me wrong, the Miles Morales Superman exists in the same world as Peter Parker Spider-Man. So there were people that were saying, look, Okay, we're not getting an origin story, thank God, because we've seen the fucking origin story a million fucking times.
Right.
We've already had two Spider-Men, Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man. Why not try Miles Morales? Now, don't be wrong. Like I said, I'm playing devil's advocate. And this is going to sound weird, I honestly don't give a fuck. I really, really don't. But I can see if you're trying to introduce this into a mass audience, as much as crossover as Spider-Man has, and as much as people, yes, will discuss, okay, yes, there is a black Spider-Man, you have to kind of spoon feed that shit to a movie-going audience. And a movie-going audience is not ready right now for them to say, okay,
Exactly.
here's a black Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Just accept it. Because people are going to fucking lose their fucking mind.
Yeah, the people. Here's the thing: like the people that want Miles Morales are the majority right now. The problem is that if you do that, they will be the minority very quickly. And I think Marvel is doing the right thing by doing Peter Parker. Now, I just want to put this out there. I know there are people out there that hate Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, and there's a lot of people that actually don't hate him as Spider-Man. I'm gonna just say this, and I know it's not gonna happen because they're looking for a whole new Spider-Man, but I kind of think that bringing that Spider-Man back into the fold, and I don't like this idea of having this. Let me put it to you, like this young Spider-Man that's learning kind of thing, coming into this Marvel universe. I kind of think that a more veteran kind of Spider-Man coming in, like a Tobey Maguire, who's already done the character, come in and be like, you already know the story, okay? We've seen the story. We had a trilogy for it. We had a whole trilogy of Tobey Maguire. Why not have him come back as Spider-Man? Why not have this Spider-Man, who's a veteran, come in and, yeah, you know what? Yeah, he's learning from Tony Stark because, as we know, Peter Parker is a fucking nerd, and he loves, other nerdy people. So, he gets the opportunity to work with Tony Stark and get paid a shitload of money. Fuck yeah, I'm going to be involved with Tony Stark and make a shitload of money, Yeah, of course. Like, the fucking man's getting married. Like, yeah, obviously. I could see that. It would make so much more sense in this. And then
now imagine this. Now let me just add this on to that scenario, which once again we both agree very likely not going to happen.
No,
but imagine if they go, okay, here's Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, introduce him in the universe. Now, of course, to the reason they're doing this whole thing is because they want to spin that off back into the Sony run Spider-Man movies, with Marvel involved, but Sony run, where they go to Sam Raimi, the guy that gave us the best Spider-Man movies. The first two ones were the best, and say, look, we're sorry about part 3. we're sorry we kind of like...
No, wait. Let me interrupt you right here. We're sorry part 3. Oh, by the way, here's $1 million. We're sorry about part 3.
Yeah, and say, you know what? We're gonna let you go and do whatever the fuck you like. Or even at the very least, like say, okay, Mr. Sam Raimi, how about you come over here and meet Mr. Joss Whedon? And you two guys talk and discuss what the fuck you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gave us this great movie. Here, talk to this other fucking brilliant genius guy that is fucking constructing this beautiful universe for us. Why don't you meet with him? And you guys kind of, you guys who've controlled fucking universes of your own, why don't you guys kind of come together and see if you guys can come to some sort of arrangement? Because Sony would just back up the fucking Brinks truck. You know what I'm saying? And
Well, I want to basically, like, I wish I could see the scripts for 4 and 5 because I heard they were batshit crazy. But I was really, not to continue this, this tangent I'm on, but I think, and okay, Marvel obviously has a plan, and Marvel has done a very good job with Avengers and these characters so far, so I'm not going to really hate on them too much, but I would love for them to do more of a seasoned Spider-Man instead of what they're going to do, because I think Spider-Man should probably be more of a veteran, and, along with teaching Tony Stark teaching him things, you get this Spider-Man that's teaching Tony Stark things. Because
actually, now that that, I mean, not to cut you off, but I mean, you know what? Like, you're at first I didn't agree with you, but you're starting to try to sell me on the idea, selling me on the idea, because by the time we get to this movie, Captain America's had 2 movies, Thor has had 2 movies, Iron Man has had 3 movies, Hulk had the Avengers, Hulk had his own movie.
About Hulk, yeah.
Hulk. I mean, we all know what the fuck Hulk is up to. So it would make sense. It is kind of unfair for them to throw like this if they, if they go with that angle of a kid or whatever. Even though, like my argument would be, okay, let's have a kid because once you have a kid, then we can watch him grow in his own series of movies. But you know what? It makes sense that, when you have, because by the time, here we are in the Avengers 2, all these guys have had enough adventures where they are seasoned enough where, none of these guys are punks. None of these guys are kids. None of these guys are inexperienced. So it would make sense for them to give us experienced Spider-Man.
Right.
My only argument would be that if you had a kid Spider-Man, then okay, then they can go on and make 50 fucking movies with him.
Right. Well, and now you can be, this could, I guess where I'm leading with this is like, it would, from what I'm hearing, Civil War is more about, and how how Spider-Man has like this major role in Spider-Man in the Civil War thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I think more of an experienced Spider-Man is better in that role than a young Spider-Man, because
and if they follow, I'm sorry, go on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, no, and if they follow, let's just say, and I'm totally agreeing with you on this. Let's just say they follow the whole like how Guardians of the Galaxy came out of fucking nowhere and like blew fucking people's minds. They can take, okay, we've already seen Dr. Octopus. We've already seen Green Goblin. We've already seen a version of Hobgoblin. Let's fucking take the most outlandish fucking Spider-Man heroes, Spider-Man villains, I mean, and throw them in the mix. Saying like, okay, we haven't seen Vulture. We haven't seen Mysterio. We haven't seen Morbius. We haven't seen, we have seen Electro. I was about to say, we didn't see Electro. Well, actually, technically we did. But, like, they can give us these outlandish characters, which, if done in the right fucking context, can be done very, very well. Like a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what Marvel did. Marvel took a fucking ridiculous fucking comic book that no one cared a fuck about and made one of the best movies in their fucking franchise. So like if they did that with Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying, where you could bring these totally fucking off the wall characters, like I said, because we've already seen Dr. Octopus, we've already seen Green Goblin, bring in like fucking nutty characters, but do it right and serious, where, oh shit,
Well, right, and that's the thing, like, when my biggest concern about this is when we get to that point in Captain America Civil War where Spider-Man has to switch sides and do that thing that he's going to do in Civil War, which I'm not going to reveal, obviously, if you haven't read it or whatever, but it makes more sense to me to have a seasoned Spider-Man that knows what he's doing and can step up to the plate and kick some major fucking ass and do what needs to be done, rather than have this kid sitting there going with drool coming out of the fucking side of his face being like, oh, I love you, Tony Stark, here, let me blow you. Like, I'm not saying that, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, if and just one last thing. It just amazes me that we're trying to get away from Amazing Spider-Man and this young Spider-Man, but yet we want to go for a younger Spider-Man. So wait. The young Spider-Man, the two movies that you made, didn't work, even though they made millions and millions and millions of dollars, which still boggles my mind. But you want to move away from that, but then go to a younger Spider-Man. Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, things make these movies are gonna Unfortunately, we live in a world where, like,
people are fucking idiots.
They have, you have these good concepts that just aren't fucking fleshed out and make bad movies. You know what I'm saying?
No.
The Amazing Spider-Man movies could have been fucking fantastic. The execution was fucking horrible.
I've said this all along, and I will say it one more time. I think that Sony fucked up big time when they fucked over Sam Raimi, and you could see that in Spider-Man 3, and you could see it when they pretty much, while they're beginning into production of 4 and 5, pulling the plug and being like, no, we're going to fucking go with this script. Like, I understand what you're trying to do. Don't get me wrong. I understand that, you have this contract for a character and you have to make movies and you want to not, quote unquote, drain the lizard dry, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But like this, we wouldn't even be, I mean, I guess it's a blessing in disguise, but we wouldn't even be having this discussion had Sam Raimi been able to do 4 and 5. We wouldn't even be sitting here having this conversation about Spider-Man.
If he wasn't forced to do what he did in part 3.
Well, yeah, we wouldn't even
abandon 4 and 5.
Right. Like we wouldn't even be having a conversation about Spider-Man even being in the Marvel universe. Again, that's a blessing in disguise, but it's sad that it came to this because a company wanted to do something that was completely stupid. And for me, and I'll just settle it this way, I know Marvel's already decided, and I'm sure they're starting on Captain America Civil War as we speak. But if they have if they need to make any changes, and they should make any changes, I don't know what Tobey Maguire's doing, but I would highly suggest going to get Tobey Maguire, continuing that storyline without the Mary Jane character involved at the moment, and just knock this fucking thing out of the park, because I know Tobey Maguire would do such a good job, and I've never had a problem with his performance as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So
set upon with the script. But okay, so let's.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of, okay, so we talked about the reveal of the outfit for Deadpool and how kind of led into Spider-Man and everything like that. What am I saying? They totally botched when the new Fantastic Four, which comes out in a couple of months or whatever. They wanted to make it a big secret about how the Thing looked like, but then somebody went and ordered fucking posters of all the characters. So, where the people who were in charge of like doing like the
marketing,
the trailers, didn't fucking get the memo from the people who were doing the print or the post, billboard marketing. So apparently, and I want to say it's some South American country or somewhere south of the border, because I believe the poster is in Spanish. There it is, larger than life. I mean, literally 20 feet high. A poster revealing all the characters from the new Fantastic Four with the Thing on it, which, part of, from what I understand, part of the campaign or the video campaign was going to be that they were not going to show the Thing. It was supposed to be something that was supposed to surprise us when we finally saw the movie, and somebody didn't get the fucking memo. So here it is on giant billboards. I mean, in this day and age, when a movie like Deadpool is being made because someone leaked it on the fucking internet, did they not think that someone in South America could fucking, post something on Facebook that their friends in America and, North America, can
how,
like, nobody got the fucking memo?
how does this thing look in comparison to the other one?
Well, okay. I'm of course I'm not happy with it. I don't think this new Fantastic Four is going to be good at all. I don't know why they can't just give us the Ben Grimm the Ben Grimm I grew up with. Okay, looked like large pieces of rock, and one of my biggest beefs about the Fantastic Four, the ones that were made with Jessica Alba and that whole those two ones, Fantastic Four, Fantastic Four 2, Rise of the Silver Surfer, was they didn't give the Thing the thick eyebrows, the thick brow, that made him look like a fucking caveman. Which is part of the Thing's look. I mean, it looks the Thing looks like. Now, some would argue to say that in the way the Thing looks now, it looks like his face is lost in the fucking rock. Like, it looks like his face is almost sunk into the rock. Now, some people would say if you look at old Jack Kirby drawings from like the earliest issues of Fantastic Four, the Thing looked like that. And you know what? If that's what they were going for, and they were going for Jack Kirby's look, I have to shut my mouth and give respect where respect's due. But maybe, seeing that these movies, like, we are the target audience, I like the Thing the way he looked, where he looked like big chunks of fucking orange rock. Mm-hmm. And with a definitive face, but the most defining feature was the big brow. Like I said, right over his eyes, it almost fucking hung over like a fucking umbrella sticking out of his head, and which made him look very Cro-Magnon, I guess would be the best way to put it, because the Thing was always supposed to be this ugly, not a nice guy. I mean, he's a nice guy to his friends, kind of a jerk to his enemies, obviously. But lovable, and I like, you had a perfect chance to fucking remake him and make him the way we kind of remember him, And like I said, if they were going for the Jack Kirby look, the early Jack Kirby look, okay, I get it, and I'll shut up and I'll give you the respect. But there was in my like when you like some people have what I would call the one that I'm picturing in my head the definitive look. You know what I'm saying? Almost ageless. Definitely better than the way they made Michael Chiklis look like in the movies from 5-10 years ago. But what they're going with now is just like if the movie doesn't already look horrible, he looks like he has a fucking pink eye infection. It looks like his face is swollen or something like that. Like it's not, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's kind of. I guess okay. If you're turned into a monster, you're turned into a monster. You're not going to be. You're not going to have a perfectly symmetrical face. You turn into a monster. But I mean, come on. I mean, bend the rules a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the way he looks. It looks like his face is sunk into it, like the rocks are like overtaking his face. Which,
I guess I gotta say that. First of all, I haven't seen this picture yet, and I'm sure I'll get to see it after we do this podcast. But I didn't necessarily not like what I saw from the Thing in the Fantastic Four, the two movies that they did. Now, my problem with the second Fantastic Four, first of all, Jessica Alba's character, whatever they did to her was just absolutely terrible. The makeup that they put on her, the face of her, like it was just terrible. Like I don't know who the fuck was smoking when they did that, but like
they took one of the most beautiful women, naturally beautiful women on the planet, and then smothered her and pancaked her in fucking makeup, and then didn't even like they tried to make her a different color than what she was. The girl has a little tint to her. The girl has a little a little olive to her complexion, and they tried to make her look like a white girl.
I didn't like that at all, and I think what they did was stupid. And I still to this day think that movie was screwed up because of that, and the fact that they made what was his name again? I can't think of was it Ultron? No, not Ultron.
You mean Galactus?
No. Galactus, that's what I'm thinking about. Ultron is from
Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Right, and they made him like this big black hole, and like
it's a fart cloud.
Right, like I was just. Number one, it destroyed any chance of having the Silver Surfer in its own movie. Number two, it was just like, where did you all of a sudden think that this was going to be Galactus? Like, it just didn't make any sense. Like, where in the comic did you get this big cloud, or, as I said, black hole, as Galactus? Like, this doesn't even make any sense whatsoever. So, whoever did that movie hopefully got fired and never does movies ever again. But with this movie, I don't know, I'm not like super enthused by it because from what I've seen in trailers, first of all, look, again, and you know what? Fuck people who sit there and hate on people for having opinion about ethnic actors getting a white person's role. But let me tell you something right now. These comic book characters, when they were set up originally, if they were white, they should stay white. Period. Okay? I'm sorry. I get it. I understand. You people get pissed off when you hear that. Oh, we need to be racially diverse. But you know what? You can go suck my left nut and kiss my fucking ass. Johnny Storm is white. Period. End of fucking story. It takes away from the movie.
What do you mean,
okay.
you people?
I don't care. White, black, Asian, whoever has an offense with me having a fucking problem with him not being white, well, guess what? I don't give a shit. I'm not a racist. I'm just telling you how it is. Okay? I'm a comic book fan, and I actually liked the Fantastic Four. I grew up with the animated series, so I'm used to a white, not just a white Johnny, not just a white, Johnny Storm, but is it Johnny Storm? It's Johnny Storm.
Johnny Storm, yeah.
It's not a white Johnny Storm, but like a white, Fantastic Four. And, I might be saying the W word too much here, but I don't remember there being any concoction of the Fantastic Four being black. Okay.
And what kills me is that like his sister is Sue Storm.
Right.
It's not like I can understand like they went and they took one character and go, okay, we're gonna make this character black. Because if that was the case, maybe they would have gotten fucking issues like making the Thing black or whatever. Or even if they made Mr. Fantastic black, because the deal is that Sue Storm and Johnny Storm are brother and sister,
Right.
and you're totally throwing that whole dynamic out the window. I mean, of course, you could easily just go adopted or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're really trying to force this fucking race thing down our throat when in doing that, trying to be politically correct, you're actually destroying one of the key relationships between two of the characters, brother and sister.
Exactly. And by the way, the actress said, "Oh, well, why not have?" She said something along the lines of, "Why not? There's so many diverse families out there. Why not have like a black and white sister?" Fine, I get that. I understand, but I get what you're trying to say. But here's the problem: the comic book does not reflect that. Let's look at the Green Lantern, for example. The first Green Lantern was white. The one that took over for him was black. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. That makes sense to have a Green Lantern that's black. Okay? I have no fucking problem with him being black. Okay? I'm going to be completely honest with you. Hell, you could even make, and maybe I am going out on a limb here, but Hawk Girl, Hawkman, mm-hmm. There was a whole society of Hawkmen and women. There could be a black Hawkman, there could be a black Hawk woman. Mm-hmm. You could do that. I don't have a problem with that because there's a whole race of them. And that's been established in a comic book, okay? But when you're taking a central character like Johnny Storm and the Fantastic Four and trying to change them, I'm sorry, but we're done. We're done having this conversation. From this point on, you need to do a fantastic movie, or I'm going to shit on it for the rest of the time that it's out. Because
it doesn't look that great. That's what kills me.
Like it's almost shrouded in so much mystery that it's bad. Really, if there's any movie that you should be trying to convince people to watch, it's Fantastic Four. After the second one, you people need to convince people to watch Fantastic Four. I'm sorry. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's one of the, I hate to quote Family Guy, but it grinds my gears that they would fucking even do that. That's like making fucking Wolverine black. Let me tell you something. If they made Wolverine black, how many fucking people would flood the Marvel office? I think they would literally first of all, there would be thousands upon thousands of people outside protesting Marvel, but there would be people trying to break down the doors and trying to choke and kill people just because he's black. You know what I mean?
I mean, not to mention that the character's from Canada, which is not traditionally a black.
So there'd be like 100, there would be 1,000 Canadians there. So I'm just saying, like, look, I understand we want to be politically correct, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing for fucking making these other characters women. I get it. We want to be more diverse. We want to have more females, blah, blah, blah. Kiss my ass. I don't give a fuck. If you establish a character and there's no comic book to back up that, there should be no reason why you change it. And by the way, you got to fucking, whoever's the director of Fantastic Four, you better do a fucking home run with this goddamn movie, because if it doesn't do well, I'm going to come on the podcast and just fucking bash you to the ends of the earth. So,
all right, so more character reveals. Jesse Eisenberg. Oh, okay, sir. I heard about it, but I haven't. I didn't really follow up on.
Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that next time. But yes, Jesse.
Yeah. Jesse Eisenberg. Star of The Social Network, Rio, trying to Zombieland. They finally revealed on the set, well, not on the set, but Zack Snyder released a picture of him, professional shot of Lex Luthor, and it's funny because I had goofed and I had taken a picture of Jesse Eisenberg well over a year ago when they made the announcement.
Yeah, I know, it looks exactly like him.
And exactly, I made a picture in Photoshop where I made him bald, and I kind of goofed on the Social Network poster where it says you don't get to 1 billion friends without making a few enemies. Well, I put you don't. Oh no, sorry. The poster said you don't get to 500 million friends without making a few enemies, and I had made the poster you don't get to $1 billion without making a few enemies. I totally dig it. I totally understand. Of course, one of the big comparison is that, if they're going to update Lex Luthor, why not make him like a Mark Zuckerberg, the guy who's guy who runs fucking Facebook, where he goes, why not have, where in these movies, Lex Luthor was always sort of a billionaire. He was never in the media. He was always kind of, just corporate, what I'm saying? So why not have, a person that's making money in this day and age would be someone like a Mark Zuckerberg, like someone making money through the internet and stuff like that. And why not get the actor that played Mark Zuckerberg, and a Mark Zuckerberg-like character, why not get the actor that played Mark Zuckerberg? I like the way he looks. I mean, he looks pissed off. He looks angry. And even when you watch The Social Network, I mean, Mark Zuckerberg is kind of a dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think David Fincher was trying to paint him in a good light. You're talking about a guy who fucking, and once again, we're talking about The Social Network, where, here's a guy who basically stabbed everyone he worked with in the back at one point or another. He stabbed everyone in the back. Why not have that guy play, one of the biggest scumbags, and of course, I'm pretty sure they're going to write it well enough where, you understand Lex Luthor's methodology, you understand why he hates Superman, that he's going to paint the picture that, he's obviously this out of control fucking alien, that fucking tore down Metropolis and the first Man of Steel. So obviously he's not to be trusted. He's a danger. He needs to be eliminated. And you could kind of, Jesse Eisenberg, who has never played a role like this. I mean, he's never really played the bad guy. And here he's playing like the definitive bad guy, where, you get his motivations, you get why he hates Superman. I dig it, saying there's people who don't like it, and I'm like, well, what do you want? What are you looking for? I get Jesse Eisenberg as because the one tiny thing is that, yes, in recent comics, and if you followed like the Superman animated series, yes, they did make Lex Luthor relatively a well-built guy, what I'm saying? And a lot of in the past, 20 years or whatever, Lex Luthor has been depicted as, a guy who looks like he hits the gym, but I would think a guy that brilliant doesn't hit the gym. You know what I'm saying? Here's a guy who doesn't have to hit the gym because he can hire a guy to kick your ass.
No, he can hire somebody to build him a robot and kick your ass, basically.
Exactly. And I pray, please, if there's anything good, I pray that they give him like, his female bodyguard / chauffeur and I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on her name right now.
Oh shit. God, it was just in my head. I was actually just thinking about this.
I want them to give us.
Give me her name.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure. We could find out. But I mean, if they give us that character, his fucking Amazonian fucking bodyguard / chauffeur / that would be fucking awesome. And then you have someone that could whip Lois Lane's ass.
Now, here's a question: because if you remember, in the animated series, he was actually black. Was Lex Luthor always white, or are there some incarnations of him like black?
I don't think he was black.
Wasn't he black? I thought he was black.
I think the voice actor was black, and they made him look a little. He didn't look like a white boy. Like he didn't look like.
No, he didn't look white at all. That's why I say like he was, I believe he was supposed to be black in the animated series. Like it was, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe I'm wrong about this, but distinctly remember him not being like, he certainly wasn't Superman's color. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think they kind of, and okay, the character that I was talking about, her name is Mercy Graves.
Mercy. Yes.
Now,
yes.
I think when you have like a Lex Luthor like that, I think you can kind of like maybe he was kind of like a Greek or he wasn't Italian. He was someone with a little bit of oliveness to his skin, sort of like a Jessica Alba. He kind of had a little. He wasn't a white guy because his eyebrows weren't blonde, or did he have in the cartoon? Did he have eyebrows? But let me see. No, I don't know, Paul. I don't think they're trying to make him black in the.
Well, then he was certainly mulatto. Because I'm not fucking like losing my mind there. Like he was. You know what? I'm gonna have to look this up here.
Yeah.
Because I swear to God, maybe I'm losing my mind. But like,
Yeah.
now you got me like all annoyed. Like I swear to God, he was black.
Well, now I wonder what let's see, Luthor. There's a last name origin or whatever. And this is incredible podcasting.
I know, it's incredible podcasting.
Okay, and now I'm totally just jumping on the first thing that comes up on Wikipedia. German, surname Luthor, Germanic personal name, notable people, German politician, German scientist. Luthor seems to be a. Oh, actually, Luthor. Yeah, Luthor. Yeah. Well, okay, let me see. Luthor name history, family crest. Yeah, German origin. German. He's German. Well, I mean, if you follow the most popular version of the last name Luthor.
Let me see if I can find this. I need to find a picture of him because.
No, I know what you're talking about, but I don't think he was black. I mean, I'm 99% sure the voice actor was black, but I don't think they were trying to insinuate he was black. I mean,
dude, I'm sending you this, dude. He's black. Like, look at this picture. I'm not even fucking kidding you. Watch, I'm gonna copy image. I'm gonna put it in your feed, and you're gonna look at it, and you're gonna be like, yeah, he is black. This is him from Superman, the animated. Oh, fuck.
Dude, I get where you're coming from, but I don't think they were trying to make him black. Let's see. Let's look up Lex Luthor black. This is great podcasting.
Welcome to the podcast, see?
Okay. Wow, that's funny. That's the first fucking thing. Do you think Lex Luthor is black in the Justice League cartoons? Wow. On Comic Vine, which is like Comic Vine is pretty much a
like in the later like movies in that he's clearly white, but like in this one, like you can clearly tell like he is black as fucking day. Like it's just like you're sitting there going, why? And there's even people like I'm looking at like links and shit of people going, is he black? Like was he black in the animated series? So
dude, I mean, like what I'm looking at I mean, none of this. I mean, there are people who are asking the question, but all the people that are answering are saying no, he's not.
Yeah, well, you know, one of them said, "Oh, he has a deep tan." What? He does not have a deep tan.
Yeah, he's tan. He's olive skin. Maybe he's Spanish. Maybe he's wow.
Yeah, stop making excuses. You're done.
Wow,
dude, he is clearly like that. Yeah, he is clearly black there. Literally, like I don't understand what they were going for there, and I don't know why they would even make this confusion. But like, clearly, this I know I'm not hallucinating now. like I'm looking at it. Like here, I'm putting it in the feed. Are you telling me that's white? Please tell me that you don't think that's white.
I
think that is white. If you think that is white, I'm gonna go get you some fucking glasses from the doctor right now.
Well, clearly there are people who are online who agree with you or have the same sort of like apprehension that you have that maybe he's black. But I don't know what the hell did you just send me because it's not giving me anything. I don't know what the fuck you just sent me. It's a shared photo and it's asking me to sign into fucking Skype. Dude, I know what you're talking about. I'm looking at pictures right now. I see where people have pictures of him. Let me see. Maybe he's just a tan white guy.
So, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, Lex Luthor was black at one point.
Yeah, I put a good I put a decent link in the feed.
Dude, he's black. Dude, he's black. Like literally, like you see one guy that's black, and then you see another dude that's like basically black.
We interrupt this podcast to give you a little bit of after show. After Paul and I recorded this, we connected up with Durrell from the Tsunami Faithful podcast, and this is his interpretation on whether or not Lex Luthor was black. Let's give a listen.
Not much, man. What's the good one?
Paul and I got into a debate in the past episode. We just finished recording. If Lex Luthor from the animated series of Superman, the ones from the 90s and the 2000s, Was he black?
No, he was white.
See?
Okay, wait a minute. No. Remember Superman the animated series?
Dude, he looked like he had a deep tan, but he was white, dude. That's it. He was white. He was never black. He was white.
My mind is not deceiving me. Like that. If you look at this picture I'm sending, like he is fucking.
Because the whole thing is during the episode, I mean, there are people who are asking that question online, so it's not,
Dude, he's white, man. He's not black, dude. That is white.
I was like, maybe he's Greek or something. Like he's kind of like, but I mean,
No.
we looked it up, and Luthor is a German name.
Yeah, it is. Lex Luthor is German, and dude, he is fucking white, man. I never mistaked him for being black. If he was black, he would have been the color of Jon Stewart. He ain't even fucking light skinned, man. That's just a fucking tan.
That's a deep fucking tan, then, dude.
Hell yeah, that's a deep fucking tan. Hell, y'all the ones that go and get tans and shit, man. Hell,
Dude, I can't take that.
ain't too many black people go and get tans, man. Hell, we walk outside, we already brown as is, man. Shit, we try to stay out of the sun as much as we can these days. Hell, the last time we got a fucking tan, it was slavery. Like, seriously. Hell, the only black people I know that even try to get a fucking tan are light-skinned people who go to the tanning booth. That's it. Oh, you all right over there, buddy?
Oh my god, I can't breathe.
See?
Oh my.
You right there, buddy? You right there, buddy?
See, I'm just keeping it 100, man. That's how it is. Lex Luthor was white, dude. He just had a deep-ass fucking tan.
Jesus Christ, that is a deep fucking ass tan, but goddamn.
I'm talking about shit, dude. He looked like, hell, he could be fucking Italian with some German in him. Some fucking Schnitzengruben.
We now return to the regularly scheduled podcast.
Okay, what else do I have on my list before we get fucking Al Sharpton comes and shuts down our podcast? Now I'm just, I was thinking about Zack Snyder and the movies that he
Two
made.
white dudes, no podcast.
Like for reparations, they have to give the podcast to Darrell.
I'm telling him, you fucking say that.
Well, he should be listening to the podcast. No, okay. Zack Snyder. I wasn't a fan of the Man of Steel. But it's funny because I loved Watchmen, which he directed, which was a fucked up movie. It was a sad movie. It was a depressing movie, I guess would be the best way to put it. When he directed Dawn of the Dead, once again a fucking depressing ass fucking movie, which I thought was well directed. So I'm not a big fan of him as doing the Man of Steel, but I think that when he does Batman v Superman, now that we're doing a little, the darker tone with Batman, I think it's going to be pretty good. I just wanted to just throw that out there. I don't know for people who've been watching the show The Flash has been fucking rocking every past episode. The past couple episodes have been fucking so good. And on the flip side, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been sucking monkey balls. I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has literally put me to sleep. I have not seen the end of the past 3 to 4 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Ever since the end of Agent Carter, and then it went back to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it has been boring as fuck. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Just real quick, and I guess we'll end on two things I want to talk about. They're talking about yet another Transformers sequel, and they're stealing a page from they're stealing a page from the Marvel universe where they want to have spin-off movies, they want to have multi-part sequels.
Wait. I feel like the kid in class where I'm raising my hand. I want to ask a question how the fuck can you have spin-offs to Transformers?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. If we're going to do a spin-off, and I really fucking hope they do this, Beast Wars. Just throwing it out there.
I think that's not too far off, if they're talking about multi-part sequels. I think it would be more like if they did a Bumblebee solo movie, or if they did I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying what they would probably do. They totally fucked up the Dinobots, but that would have been an awesome spin-off, you know what I'm saying, where you have the Dinobots going off and doing their own thing. I don't know. I mean, they'll find another reason to bring Megan Fox back. It'll be Megan Fox and a Megan, it'll be Megan Fox and Bumblebee go off and do their own movie. Why not? I'm just saying.
What is this? Megan Fox and Bumblebee, the porno or something?
Well, no, I'm not talking about sexual.
Oh.
They would bring her character and Bumblebee and they have their
By
own.
the way, speaking of pornos, props to Taylor Swift for going out and getting those names so that nobody can do pornos on her domain names. Props to her. I am like a big fucking Taylor Swift fan right now. Holy shit! Like I heard that, and I went, "You are a fucking smart girl. Good job." Dude, like you gotta admit that was smart.
Names that she got, I don't think it was her. I think it was her lawyers.
No, it was her people basically. But still, like they had to have gone to her and said, "Look, we're gonna take some of your money and go do this. Do you have a problem with that?" She's gonna be like, she probably looked at them and been like, "Why do I need these domain names?" And they're probably like, "Because you don't want pornos, right?" She's like, "Yeah, go get those." So.
Well, I mean, she went through the trouble of fucking what's that to get the phrase "this sick beat" copywritten, So she's just finding ways to spend money right now. I think she's so bored right now that she's just looking for ways to fucking spend money.
But anyways, back to Transformers.
Yeah. So I mean, they're talking about spin-off sequels and spin-off movies. It would not surprise me if there's a Beast Wars movie somewhere down the line.
I'm just saying, fucking Beast Wars. I want to see Optimus Primal, not fucking Optimus Prime. Optimus Primal. I want to see Rhinox. I want my fucking.
Yeah, but I mean, if they bastardize the '86 movie, the '86, the '80s cartoon, of course they're going to bastardize fucking Beast Wars. It's going to be a fucking abomination.
They never bastardized Beast Wars. They bastardized. They made a bastard out of fucking beast machines.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just saying is that if they didn't do any justice for the '80s cartoon, what makes you think that they're going to do a good movie based on Beast Wars?
I have high.
Saying it's going to be a fucking
I have high hopes, Chris. Oh. Don't make my hopes go away.
Okay. I just okay.
I just want to hear one more time Optimus Primal.
Optimus Primal.
No, I just want to hear Beast Mode. I just want to hear Beast Mode one more time.
Beast Mode.
Beast Mode.
They can hire that guy from the Seattle.
Dude, you know how many? Dude, if they do Beast Wars, do you know how many fucking memes will be out there again? Oh my god, it will be fucking hilarious. But anyways, continue.
Yeah. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, especially that if they're looking to expand, why not expand on something that's already been expanded upon, which is what Beast Wars were. We have WrestleMania in 2 days or whatever. I think by the time this episode comes out, I think WrestleMania will be tomorrow.
Can I do my predictions?
Oh, if you want, I don't know.
Oh, well, fuck you then.
Well, no, I'm just saying. I mean, I have to look up fucking WrestleMania matches or something because.
Well, then why would you mention WrestleMania if you weren't going to fucking say who you thought was going to win? God, Chris, you're supposed to be a fucking podcast.
I don't fucking know.
So what were you going to say about WrestleMania after I made you look bad?
Well, no, I mean, they just wanted to have a... I just wanted to mention that, they were talking about... I guess recently in the past couple days, Brock Lesnar got some ridiculous amount of money. After Triple H, he's the highest paid fucking wrestler in history. And and people that are really into the wrestling right now, they're really fucking pissed off about. They're people are really upset about that because they're oh, there's guys that are so much better. And all right.
Oh, you mean about the main event match?
Yeah, well, okay, no, well, all right. I brought up, this is, according to this is just from, 4 days ago. Updated WrestleMania lineup. It's going to be Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman versus Roman Reigns.
Yep.
And the rumor, and that's the whole thing, is that the rumor was Brock Lesnar was going to leave and go back to the UFC, but then WWF just fucking threw money at him. Sting versus Triple H, which, had you told me this fucking 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I would have been excited. I really don't give a fuck.
What a fucking asshole.
I don't, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I liked Sting in his prime, I was saying, I don't know why the fuck he dragged his feet so long before coming to the WWE. The Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt, which is he's playing like a crazy Bray Wyatt. It's like some sort of like cult member, redneck cult guy or some shit like that.
From like the Louisiana Bayou kind of shit.
Yeah, you know, sort of. I mean,
Well,
I guess it's at least it's
basically
something.
I basically call this is basically what I call the Undertaker's "I'm coming back" possibly match. If I do well, I won't retire.
Yeah, he only comes back for like WrestleMania. He does like a little here and there, and then he just comes back for WrestleMania. That's the way he's been in the past. Like
I heard that it was the reason why they threw the streak last year was he was so bad. Like he was to the point of where like I guess they had to take him to the hospital. It was bad. So
yeah, he's a tall guy that's been getting the shit beat out of him for the past 30 years. I mean,
dude, he's in his 50s too. So it's like, you know, let the man like. I really don't even know why he's wrestling, to be honest with you. Like a lot of people thought he wasn't going to wrestle this year, and like I kind of thought that after his streak was done, he would be done. But I'm thinking what they're trying to do, and this is only my guess. Again, this is only my guess. This is a match to see if he can still wrestle, and if that is the case, and everything goes well with the match, they're going to probably do the match that everybody wants to see, and then he'll actually retire, which is Undertaker versus Sting. Because it just makes sense. It just makes sense now. Like, there's no reason why, if he's going to wrestle WrestleMania, there's no reason why there shouldn't be Sting versus Undertaker.
But dude, I'll put money on this. Sting's not even around by this time next year. Like, not in WWE. I don't know. I don't know.
Dude, he has so many, like, there's so many people that want to see him wrestle that it's unbelievably, like, insane right now.
Yeah.
So when you see that, like, you're going to throw money at him, and you're going to be like, look, let's do this. We'll do this one match. We'll see how people respond, and if everything goes well, we'll put you and The Undertaker up against each other. Because really, at the end of the day, that's the ultimate match that everybody wants to see. So
yeah, they don't die first.
Oh, God.
Okay, WWE United States Champion Rusev versus John Cena. You know, whatever. I don't know who Rusev is. I don't care. Seth Rollins with J&J Security versus Randy Orton. I don't know who Seth Rollins and J&J Security are. I'm old. I don't know. WWE Intercontinental Champion Bad News Barrett versus Daniel Bryan versus Dean Ambrose versus R-Truth versus Stardust versus Luke Harper versus Dolph Ziggler in a ladder match.
Yeah, it's
I recognize maybe half those names.
Dude, like, that's probably going to be the best match of the night, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like R-Truth. I mean, I remember when he was called K-Quick.
Yep.
He's an entertaining guy. He's very
funny.
Him
and the Road Dogg had something going on there for a while that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, I like him, so I guess I hope he does well. The WWE Divas Champion Nikki Bella and Brie Bella, those are the two hot twins, versus Paige and AJ Lee. I love AJ. AJ Lee is fucking gorgeous. Oh my god, she's
married to CM Punk, right?
Yeah, well, can't account for taste. Okay, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal that has the Damien Mizdow. I thought it was Damien Sandow. I don't know. Kane, Big Show, Eric Rowan, Mark Henry, Curtis Axel, Ryback, Fandango, Adam Rose, Zack Snyder, Jack Swagger, The Ascension, the Primetime Players, Eric Rowan, Sin Cara, Goldust, Heath Slater, and the WWE NXT talent to be announced. Okay, whatever. And WWE Tag Team Champions Tyson Kidd and Cesaro with Natalia versus Los Matadores with El Torito versus the Usos with Naomi versus New Day, the WrestleMania kickoff match. So this looks like a 4-way tag team match or whatever.
Looks like it, yeah.
So I mean,
dude, the one thing
it's okay. I don't know.
The one thing that the WWE has done wrong is they fucked up the tag team division. I'm really pissed about that, to be honest with you. The tag team division should be so much better than what it is now, and it just is.
And you would think that they put out, I mean, they have to fucking put out, they got 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown,
a bunch of house shows. Like, there's
a bunch of other ones. I mean, I don't really watch wrestling like I used to, but I know there's like at least 2 or 3 more hours a week of wrestling. So you're talking about what, they have to put out 7 hours of original programming a week. You know, you would think they would have a better tag team division. You think they would have a better like cruiserweight or luchador kind of division. You know, it's sad. It really is. I once again, I kind of been catching Ring of Honor in the middle of the night, and it's not bad. It's actually, you know, but I don't want, I can't even get into that because that's just. But I guess that's the end of the wrestling news. Let me see. That's pretty much it. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, and Jim Parsons, the guy who plays what does he play? What the hell's his name? This guy Cooper on Big Bang Theory. Why am I drawing a blank? Sheldon Cooper. Jim Parsons has made it known that he would like to play the Riddler in a Batman movie. And of course, this is totally him just talking. It's not like no one announced it or anything like that. But I think it would be cool. It's a little too close to the character he plays on Big Bang Theory, which is why I don't think they would use him. But if they did, it'd be pretty cool. And also, Kevin Smith has announced that he is making Mallrats 2, which so far, like all the people who were in the first movie, not like he's been posting on his Facebook like pictures of the characters from the movie, like holding up, like it looks like they're doing the peace sign, but they're really holding up the 2, like for Mallrats 2, and it's been Michael Rooker, from The Walking Dead and Guardians of the Galaxy. Stan Lee, Shannon Doherty, Ethan Suplee, Jesus Christ, the guy who played My Name is Earl. Pretty much every character is coming back. Kevin Smith, I don't know if he said this as a joke, but he says it's going to be like an action movie. He said it's going to be Die Hard in a mall. I don't know if he's saying that as a joke. But I guess it's going to be an action comedy, Mallrats 2, which I'm kind of excited about. I mean, he's filming. He's about a month away or so from filming Clerks 3. So he's returning to doing the movies that his fans know and love him for. I mean, he's still doing a movie called Moose Jaws, which
what the hell?
Which is he's literally doing Jaws, except instead of Jaws, it's a moose. Like the way Jaws comes out of the water and attacks people, it's about a moose that it comes out of the woods and attacks people, and it's called Moose Jaws. He's dead serious. He's making a movie called Moose Jaws, which is why I'm glad he's going back to doing Mallrats too, because fuck Moose Jaws. Tusk sucked balls. I'm sorry. I wanted to like Tusk, and it fucking sucked. And that's about it. You can visit Two Strangers One Podcast. Do you have anything you want to talk about, Paul?
No, I think we've done a lot today.
Okay. You can visit twostrangersonepodcast.net. You can find links for everything show related. You can find links to our iTunes page. You can subscribe to us on iTunes if you have an iPhone, iPad, iPod. You can find a link on twostrangersonepodcast.net. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/twostrangersonepodcast. It's all spelled out. Just takes 2 seconds to share us. If you don't have, if you want to support the show, it'd be pretty awesome if you could just share that with your friends on your Facebook page. Everyone and their fucking mother has a Facebook page.
It would be pretty awesome if you guys gave us like $500,000.
Yeah, if you guys could just like give us money or whatever, like just buy my book, that would be pretty fucking awesome. And you can find the links for that also on twostrangersonepodcast.net.
Just give me the money, it's fine.
Oh god, if you don't have an iPhone, iPad, iPod, you can download us you can use the Stitcher app for Android devices. That's STITCHER. Any podcast worth listening to: Chris Hardwick's The Nerdist, Kevin Smith's Modcast, Mark Maron, Adam Carolla, This American Life. They're all available on the Stitcher app, and of course the Toonami Faithful podcast. You can follow us on. What was that?
Damn fucking straight.
You can follow us on Twitter at Stranger Podcast. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I just fucking keep not doing it. You can, if you want to write us, we're surprisingly enough, we haven't gotten any letters recently, but you can write to us at twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that's all spelled out, twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com. And thank you, for the people that do interact with us on Twitter. People tend to more contact me on Twitter through my own personal account, which not really looking to give away right now. But those who know. And for the people who do kind of share us and stuff like that, our numbers are still pretty, not skyrocketing, but our numbers slowly grow all the time. So I want to thank all the people who are sharing us. I want to thank everyone who interact with us online and and stuff like that. I mean, there's so many cool fucking people online, and I really appreciate all the support you guys have given us. I mean, of course, it'd be nice to get paid for it, but for all the people that say you do a good show and a funny show, it's fucking awesome. Thank you for listening. And Paul, I acquiesce the floor to you, sir.
All right. Well, you can find me on Twitter at PulpScroll. My last name is spelled PSCRILLO. You can also find me on Instagram. It's instagram.com/PulpScroll, where I post random pictures. And if you have any questions for me, you can ask me questions at ask.fm/PulpScroll. Please do ask me questions because I have a lot of answers. That's about it for me.
And we certainly hope you guys enjoyed listening, had as much fun as we did recording. Thank you for listening to Two Strangers One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Paul.
Don't be a stranger.
Peace. We're out.
Right. You should be fapping.
All over my face.
All right, here we go, man. Go ahead. You want to read
Double
it?
Jackpot.
What is it?
It is a self-published book by Christopher Cologne.
Chris Cologne? Smells good to me.
But
Look at her. That broke that fucking cold little exterior. He's like, hee.
But it is spelled C-O-L-O-N.
Him punny.
But Double Jackpot is a book about a comic book artist, Eric, who is in a loveless relationship with a materialistic
I feel you, Eric.
Lynette.
Oh, fucking. Are you sure I didn't write this? Sounds hauntingly familiar.
He starts cheating on his girlfriend with a more creatively supportive woman, Nadia.
Well, I got to meet her. Where's the Nadia?
There's your summer girlfriend.
Summer Nadia is Nadia.
Nadia?
Yeah, I think Nadia spelled with an A.
All right.
Both Lynette and Nadia play the double jackpot, the largest payout in lotto history, much like the recent Powerball. Both girls play his birth date as the winning numbers. Eric is now stuck between two of the country's richest women. Who will he choose? It's not that simple. This is a clever fucking idea,
Yeah,
man.
it is.
Look at her, fucking. She's impressed.
I am.
She got some summer reading. Christopher Cologne smells real lovely with an original idea. This is. I've never heard this before.
I haven't either. This is a self-published book, much in the indie spirit as Kev's Clerks.
Oh, you don't even need to name check me. This is just a good idea. You could stand on your own, man. You don't even have to be like, hey, remember Clerks? This is nothing like that. This is way more original than Clerks. This is a good idea, man. Why didn't I think of this?
I need something to read. This book is part of the Comic Books, Heavy Metal, Video Games Trilogy Book 2. Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, coming soon.
Right on, man. It's part of a trilogy. This is the first part.
Way to write, man.
He's seeking a literary agent. Motherfuckers, anybody out there? There ain't no literary agents listening to this show, I assure you, sure. Sure. I assure you, sure. But somebody know a literary agent? Hook a motherfucker up! Chris Cologne come up with an original idea. I should tell Raskin. That's a good fucking idea, to be honest with you. That's a fucking rom-com right there. Megan, get Raskin on the phone. Isn't it possible to get Raskin on the phone? No?
Yeah.
I want to run it past him, man. I want to, and if it happens, I get a taste, Chris Cologne. I get a whiff, if you will.
The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com.
That's lulu.com.
I understand that. I just want to spell it out.
Normally one says it that spells it. Still, lulu.com. What is that? Do you know what it is?
I don't know. All right. The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com. Search for Double Jackpot Christopher Cologne. A paperback version of the book is $15 and a PDF file is only $5.
$5 is
Yeah.
insanely inexpensive. 15's not even that bad for a paperback version.
No.
This is $1 million idea right here. Like a movie about a dude who fucking is stuck between two chicks, both of who play his birthday and win the lottery. Come on! I can see that trailer. Chris Cologne is on to something. Nobody else can smell it but me.
I'll read it.
Thank you. I'm going to make that smelly joke.
I know. You're trying to get me to laugh again.
It worked once. Double Jackpot is a self-published book by Chris Cologne, man. It's the first book in his Comic Books, Heavy Metal, Video Games trilogy. Book 2, Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, should be coming out soon. Get all the information at Chris Cologne, like a motherfucker.
I will
his
totally
book,
read this.
Double Jackpot. I'm serious. I'm going to recommend that to fucking Raskin. How is that not a movie? You know what I'm saying? This could be a sexy movie. You could do an R-rated version. There could be nudie in it, and you could show them fucking both chicks. Maybe a little penetration. Maybe a butthole shot. No butthole, no care.
I would like to formally apologize to Christopher Cologne. Right
No,
now,
sex sells. Chris Cologne will appreciate that. He's like, thanks for throwing a few buttholes in there, man.
Don't forget to check out twostrangersonePodcast.net, your one-stop resource for everything show-related. You can find links to subscribe to us on iTunes or on Stitcher. You could also find links to buy my book, Double Jackpot, on twostrangersonepodcast.net.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.